Hi, welcome to Let's Cook, where our theme today is It All Started in New England. So let me just go over our menu for today. The first thing that we're going to be making is we're going to actually be making some Parker House rolls. Those started in 1855 at the Parker Hotel in Boston. Then we're going to take a Cornish game hen and we're going to marinate that in ginger and green tea. And the Cornish game hen, that also originated in New England, where they took a Plymouth white chicken with a Cornish strain of hen, put them together, and we have a rock Cornish game hen. So it's kind of interesting. It's a hybrid that is usually under a pound. And then we're going to be doing a baby romaine and roasted corn salad. So to get the Parker House rolls going, I have to do one thing before we go to break. And I have some yeast right here. And with the yeast here, I'm going to dissolve this yeast in a little bit of warm water. We need to dissolve this just to get the yeast activated. And you can see right here, I actually have two right here. This one, I'm just mixing now with the warm water. It's going to start to produce a carbon dioxide. And this has already been started, and you can see how it's starting to foam up. So this yeast is very active. We need to get that yeast active before we do anything. We're going to take a little break right now, and then when we come back, I'm going to make some delicious Parker House rolls. Remember, it all started in New England. Today on Let's Cook, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where it all started in New England. Yes, Parker House rolls. Now, take a look at what these are right here, because this is what they're going to sell you in a supermarket as far as being a Parker House roll. Okay, that'll work, but this is a real thing right here. Look at the difference. Because see the difference? See that crease? It almost looks like a purse. That's what it should look like. And I'm going to show you how to make those now. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our yeast that we have right here with our warm water. We'll put that in our mixing bowl here. Along with that, we're going to add our sugar, our melted butter, our warm milk. We've taken the milk and we've warmed this up as well. This will just speed up the yeast as far as the yeast rising. Then I'm going to take some bread flour right here. Whoops. Let's get this in here right now. Whoa, this is not on right. There we are. There. Should never really hit the side of the pan. I'll just take my bread flour right now. Now, if you don't have bread flour, you can't make this with all-purpose flour, but we'll start this with our bread flour. We're going to mix this just till it starts to come together. And then once it starts to come together and we have a good starter here, and we're starting to develop the gluten a little bit, I add the all-purpose flour to this. There we are. And this does require a little bit of time to make at home. And also, I almost forgot my egg. I got to get my egg in there too. So we want to put our egg in there. And our salt. Just going to mix this together until it starts to form a ball. Then you're going to continue to mix this, roughly for about 7 or 8 minutes. See how it's starting to come together here? Now you can do this by hand or you can do this with your machine. Either way it'll work. But it's just going to form a ball here. And then what we're going to do is I'll show you how you work with the ball here as well. Great. Okay. You really want to develop the gluten in this a little bit because you're going to rise this 2 times. So let me just show you what you'll do. You'll just take your dough out now. Then, with your hand, you're just going to knead this. I would normally mix this a longer time, but you knead this with your hand here. And you can see that this is dry enough. I don't need any bench flour at all, but if it was a little wet, I could just work in a little bit more flour. You take this now, form it into a ball this way. We'll put this in a bowl. We simply now cover this with plastic wrap. And we let it rise till it's double in size. I have one here that it's already risen till it's double in size. Now we'll take this, and I'm going to take this, remove it from here, punch this down a little bit. Whoops, need a little bench flour here. Just turn this over and punch this down. Then we're going to take this, and I'm going to cut this in, 1-ounce portions. And as long as they're about the same size, it'll work fine for you. Then we take these, and using our hand, we're just going to take this and just roll them into nice, tight little balls, just like this. See how I did this? I'm going to show you this one more time. We should be able to get this. If you have too much flour on your cutting board, this won't work. You're going to start like this. Start with your hand this way. Just take the roll and you push it this way. And what you're doing is you're really doing an outside motion like this, so that you're forming a little cone right here, for lack of a better term, and you're sealing it so you end up with a nice ball that way. Now you take and if you really get good at this, what you can do is you can do 2 at one time. And this is great to get your children involved with, or your loved one, where you start this way, and you work them both, where you're working them away from each other this way. Then you have 2 nice balls there. You just save a lot of time. Now you take these, you let them double in size again. So that's what they'll look like. They're going to double in size. Then what you do with these is you'll remove these with your hand or a dowel. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go like this and press it. Just press these down with your hand. Once they're pressed down, take this, butter, and you really only want the middle, so because you really want to develop that look. You come over here and you press it. You just take this, you press it again. Come over here, you press it again. Now, then we'll take these, set these up onto a pan like this, and you're going to let these rest again and double in size one more time. Now, you can I like to brush them with butter now, but you can also brush them with butter again after they double in size. Then you bake these in a 425-degree oven for about 15 minutes, and this is what you end up with. See how beautiful these look? So now we have a great comparison there. We're going to take a little break right now. And going with our tradition that it all started in New England, I am going to take and make a delicious roasted corn and baby romaine salad. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where now we're making a terrific, easy salad. Now, we're starting the salad with corn, and I have the corn in the 3 stages right here from beginning. Well, it's not coming off the stalk, but I have where I haven't done anything to it, where I've cleaned the silk out of it, and then where I've roasted it so that you can see there's a marked difference. To get the corn ready for the salad, the first thing that you would do is you would peel back just the outer husk of the corn. Just peel these back, and then you would remove all of this silk from the inside here. If you sometimes need glasses like I do to see this, you might want to wear them when you're doing this, but we just remove the silk right here and get all the silk off of it. Then once we've removed all the silk from it, it looks something like this. We drizzle a little bit of olive oil onto this, season it with salt and pepper, roast it in the oven. It's going to take, roughly almost an hour to get to this stage right here, half an hour to an hour, based on how good your oven is, if it's a convection oven or if it's not. But then we have our corn right there. Now what we're going to do with the corn is just remove these now, and then we just cut it right off the cob here. So we'll remove the husk here. Take my knife, which is right here, and we just cut the corn right off the cob. See how nice that, doesn't that look great? And that really brings out the sweetness of the corn. So I have my corn right here. Be careful not to get any of the cob in there. So we take our corn off. Good, so now I have my corn ready to go. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm using some pine nuts in this. And I'm using the pine nuts for texture and for flavor. But what I'm going to do with the pine nuts here is I have a sauteed pan here that I'm just warming up here. I won't put any oil in it at all. Right here, I'm just going to take these pine nuts, put them in this pan, and just get them a little toasted. Give them a little bit of color. Now, the pine nuts or the pignoli nuts here aren't going to take too long to brown at all. So we have these right here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my dressing. To make my dressing, I'm going to be using some white balsamic vinegar here. You can't really see it in the bowl, but it's in there. I put in about, and I'm doing this on about a 4-to-1 ratio. So I have my white balsamic vinegar, my walnut oil, or olive oil, whichever oil you like here. We're just going to add that into there, making sure that gets well emulsified. Great. Season now this with just a little bit of salt, a little bit more salt, a little bit of pepper. There we are, great. Now, let's see how our pine nuts are doing over here. Okay, you can actually smell, and you know, the pine nuts, sometimes they have a tendency of getting a little stale. This will remove any of that stale flavor that they might have. Let me get my lettuce out of the refrigerator here. Okay, here we are. Great. Now the lettuce, when I hold it in the refrigerator, oftentimes after I've washed it, I put a wet towel or wet paper towels on top of it. That helps to keep it nice and fresh and it won't dry up. But you notice how nice this baby romaine, how nice and light this is. Beautiful. This is a beautiful summer salad, especially, or you know, early summer. Now, my pine nuts are good. Let's shut those off. Into my bowl now, I'm simply going to place some of my lettuce, my tomatoes here, and these are just some plum tomatoes that I diced in half. I'm going to take my corn now, add my corn to this too. Now, also, by the way, any other vegetable you'd like to put in this, you really can. It's not even on the recipe here, but I have a beautiful little chili right here, so I'm just going to take this chili right here. We're going to dice this up, and I'm just going to put a little bit of heat in this. So this is delicious chili, and I and thank God somebody in my IFB just said jalapeno, because I just couldn't think of it. You ever go blank when you're working with something and say, geez, I know what the name of it, but I just can't. It's like when you see a family member and you can't remember their name. Ever happened to you? It happens to me. Or a crew member. There are a lot of people working on a show, and 5 of the gentlemen are referred to as Guy because I forget their names. There's one person who works on the show, Rocky. For the first year and a half he worked on the show, his name was Guy. But we just take this and we toss this around. Just enough dressing to really coat this. Take this, I'll set this up in the bowl, just like this. And again, it's going to have a great flavor. We have the jalapeno chilies in there, so now we have a little bit of heat with the sweetness of the corn, the tomatoes, the wonderful fresh flavor of the baby romaine. And then to finish this now, just take some pine nuts, put our pine nuts right on top of it there. Out of this world. Nice, easy summer salad. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, I'm going to be making this delicious ginger and green tea rock Cornish game hen. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where now we're doing some Cornish game hens. Now, to make the Cornish game hens, in my pot right here, I have some ginger, I have some green tea. And all I did is I made a very strong tea here. I'm just going to take these tea bags out, squeeze that out. I leave the ginger right in there. To this, I'm going to add some soy sauce and some honey. Little bit of God's gift to sweetness, a little bit of honey in there too. Oh, please come out, honey. Okay, the honey is flowing now. Takes a while. Honey is so good, it just takes a while for it to get flowing. Out of this world. Now, this is what I'm going to actually cook, marinate, and then cook the Cornish game hens. I have 2 Cornish game hens here. Again, remember, these are only about £1 pound. And they're all white meat. They're very delicious, very sweet. All I'm going to do with the Cornish game hens here is I'm simply going to take these and tie the legs together. So let me get my knife here. Take our string, go once, go twice. All I need is 2 little pieces of string here, and I'm simply going to take the Cornish game hens, tie the legs together. You'll notice what I did with the wings, how I took the wings and I just put them underneath, just took them and put them underneath that way. We just tie the legs together here. And this is just so that I have a nice shape while they're cooking. I'll just get a little crazy here. Go back and forth that way. Tie a little knot. That's all we have to do. This also gives us a nice shape, but it also holds the breast in there so it doesn't flatten out when we cook it. So that's good to go. I'm going to put that just in an oven-proof pan. Tie these legs together. What I did with the hens is I did wash them and I did pat them dry. And I'm also going to make sure that I cook them to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees. Now, what we do now is we simply take our hens here, take our marinade, pour our marinade over top of them, making sure I get some in the cavities there too with all the ginger. You don't even have to peel that ginger. Just take these. Then what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll actually turn them over. And I'm going to start them with the back side up and the skin side down. I'm going to put these in a 350-degree oven, and I'm going to baste them about every 15 minutes for anywhere from an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. So let me just pop these in the oven here. Now I already have some done here, and it's a basting that really makes them look absolutely gorgeous. See how gorgeous these look right here? These are beautiful, and I allowed these to rest, but these are the Cornish game hens. So now what I'm going to do now is just take my Cornish game hens, look at that great color that the skin develops, and that's from the basting process. Look at, out of this world, look at that. Now, with the sauce that I had from the basting, this is a marinade. Now I'm going to make a little bit of sauce out of this. To make the sauce, I'm simply going to take this and I'm going to strain it into a pan right there, removing the ginger and any other solids that stick to the strainer. We'll get that out of the way. We're going to bring this up to a simmer now. Once this is at a simmer, I can decide to either reduce it down or I can tighten it up with a little bit of cornstarch. The best way to determine what to do is to actually take this and taste it now for salt content, because we have the soy sauce in there. Because the soy sauce reduces in the oven, this needs no salt, needs no pepper, and it should be thickened right away, because I already have enough salt content in there. As a matter of fact, it's a little salty, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of chicken stock to this with no salt there. Then I'm going to take my cornstarch, add my cornstarch to this, and lightly thicken this. Okay? Just want to lightly thicken this. Beautiful. Okay, I like this. Make sure that once you thicken this, that when we take the spoon, it coats the back of the spoon, we get a nice nappe, nice glaze to this. I can just take a little bit more cornstarch in here, and then you have to let this cornstarch cook out a little bit too. Good. Take all of it. Perfect. So now my sauce, I'm going to just turn this down to allow this to simmer just a little bit. There we are. Now for the Cornish game hens, here's what we're going to do. Just remove the string right here. I'm going to show you a nice presentation for this. Then what I'm going to do with my knife right here, or shears, I'm going to go through the back of the chicken here, just sticking my knife through to remove this backbone right here. See this here? That's my backbone right there. I'm going to get rid of the backbone there. Then I'm going to turn this over here, cut this down this way, come over here, I'm going to cut this down, because I'm only going to serve them a half a chicken here. Now we'll set this up on the plate right here, this coming right here. Then again, you know, remember this all started in New England. Then we'll take a little bit of our salad right here, put the salad right on the plate here with this. This is with the pine nuts and the roasted corn and the tomatoes. Then, of course, we did the Parker House roll, put that right there too. And last but not least, let's take a little bit of our sauce here now and put this right over top of the Cornish game hen. Nice, very simple, easy luncheon that you can make. The green tea with the soy sauce, with the sweetness of the Cornish game hens. Out of this world. And of course the Parker House Rolls, which came from the Park Hotel, 1855 in Boston. And of course, thank you, America, for corn. It all started in New England. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.